So I'm down here at the Chattahoochee, and as you can see behind me, water's running pretty good. They opened the gates probably about 9 this morning upstream at West Point. So all of that water has done past this location, so that's why it's not a raging waterfall or a raging river as it would be if they had opened up the dam. So this is where I'm going to be shooting some long exposure stuff of the water. Off to my left side, I've got some blue heron that are getting ready to do some fishing, so hopefully I can get a couple shots of that, and I brought my long lens to capture those shots. So let's get started and see what kind of results we get. So what I'm going to start with is this area right in through here, this little spot right in through here. That's what I'm going to shoot first. I want to kind of see if I can isolate each one of those square sections with the water flowing over the side of it. And then I'll turn and get some of this stuff that's over on this side over here and see what kind of compositions I can come up with from that location. So you're not going to be able to see the back of my camera screen because it's so bright out here. So what I'm going to do, I'll drop this ISO back down to 50. I'll take my aperture, I'm going to bump that back up to like f13. And like I said, it's so dark. I mean, it's so bright out here, I can barely see the screen myself. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit, kind of isolate that specific area. Let's hook this up where I can maybe get a better view of it. I don't really want to get the bridge in there. So what I'll probably do, I'll shoot it wide, and then I'll go ahead and crop it to a 16:9 to just isolate the water coming over the rocks right there. All right, so we'll get my 2-second timer set up. All right, let's see what happens with the first shot. Here we go. That looks pretty nice. And of course, if the clouds weren't here, it would be like super, super bright and probably wouldn't make for a great shoot. But since we got some overcast skies, I think we're going to be able to get some really great photographs. Let me take a peek in here and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's looking pretty darn good. Let me see where my focus point was at. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's try one more. Here we go. I just chose a different focus point. It was kind of a little bit far to the left, to the right of the image. So I went ahead and moved it towards the middle a little bit more. So I think we got a pretty good shot of that. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the camera around over this direction. See what I can get from this angle. I'm going to pick up some of these rocks in the foreground. Like I said, you can't really see them. They're like right down in here. See what my composition looks like in this hole. Alrighty. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's about a 2-second shot at f13. Yeah, that looks really nice too. Pretty sweet. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Maybe I can crop this to a 16:9 as well. And I'm also going to open up my aperture a little bit more, go down to f8. That's going to give me a 1-second exposure. And it'll make the water look a little different. Yeah, that still looks great though. That looks perfect. All right, so let me check one thing out here. My polarizer was in a pretty good position for that right there. One more. Cool. All right, so now what I want to do, I'm going to turn this, let you see downriver, down here. And I don't know if you can see them, but there's a heron there. There's one right there. There's one way back. There's like two back in here. And then there's one like right there. I'm going to get a shot of that area right through there, and hopefully they'll be still enough to where I'll be able to capture some moving water and and then be able to get them to where they're not moving around so much. Go ahead and frame this up. Zoom in a little bit. Right about there. I'm going to capture the 4 that are a little bit further to the right. I'm not going to get that lone one that's sitting out through there. So that looks pretty cool. And here we go. Awesome. So hopefully that's working pretty good. All right, let me zoom in a little bit more. Well, that's as far as I can go with that lens. All right. I'll go ahead and I'm going to shoot this one more time. And I didn't bother to check my polarizer, so I'm going to check that out again and see how that's going. Let's see if I can. Like I said, when you use a polarizer, probably the worst time to do it is this time of day right here, midday. You're not going to get as much polarization as you would if the sun was just rising or just setting. But I think because of the way the water looks, I think it's really going to make for an awesome photograph. And I didn't even notice, but there's one standing up on a rock too. You can probably see it if you look real close. He's like right up in here somewhere. There's like one there. There's one directly below him right there. Then there's 2 out in this farther section here. Then there's this guy that's standing right there. I'm going to shoot a couple shots of these guys. I'm hoping I can get one catching a fish. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to photograph this rock that's like right in through here. It's got some nice flow of water coming down this direction. And then of course we have this water that's behind it right back in here. So I'm going to take a good shot of this and we'll see how that turns out. All right, so basically with my video camera, my Osmo, battery dead in that. My phone, battery dead in that. So luckily enough, I've got my Z6 that I can depend on to do my videos because I got plenty of batteries for it. But we're going to go ahead and get a shot of this location right here. I chose a little bit of a higher elevation because, you know, that's the rock I photographed a moment ago. But I wanted to get up a little bit higher to capture a little bit more of this scene right here. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot of that and see what it turns out like. All right, so I guess it's time to head on back, at least to the car to where I can charge all this stuff back up again. We'll head that way and see what we get. So this is that wall that I just showed you. And I thought this was pretty cool how down at the bottom down here we have all of these elephant ears. Then of course it goes up into this rock face right here. It looks really, really neat. So like I said, it makes for a really cool photograph. I want to kind of pan a little bit to show you, you know, right above, right up there, is a bridge that goes across all of this. And then of course going down this way, it is looking pretty cool. So coming back to here, it just makes for a really interesting photograph with, you know, these holes that are in the walls right here. And then of course, again, I said like the elephant ears down across that direction, and then that wall face right into here. It makes for a really nice composition. So that should turn out to be a pretty good photograph. We'll see when we get back. Nice little hill to climb up here. Whew. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see my car. I'm not out of shape, but I'm close. Ooh, let's start this baby up, man. I'm like burning up. Get that air going. High speed. So, hopefully, the images that I shot today are going to look pretty nice. Of course, like I said before, my phone died. My Osmo died. And I had them charging on the way down here. They should have been fully charged last night before I even got up this morning. But that's one of those things, you know, you learn it as you go. But, so I'm going to go grab me a bite to eat. I'm starving, and then I'm going to head on back to the house and work on this a little bit and see how well it turned out. I hope you enjoy the video. Like I said, it's my first one, so we're going to see how it comes out. Maybe I'll start up a YouTube channel. Who knows? Might get to the them 27,000 view people. Go viral, whatever. But thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about utilizing neutral density filters. I know I didn't touch on it a whole bunch, but I touched on the basics. That should be enough. So until the next video, take care, keep on shooting.